Again, sorry for the delay in getting started here. Oops. As Brianne mentioned, my name is Alicia Jones, and I am one of the career advisors at the Pomerantz Career Center. And today we'll spend just a little bit of time talking about how the Career Center can assist students, some of those important things that we do in helping students get connected to their career interests and to employers, and hopefully off to a successful position or graduate school after they leave the university. So, as I said, some of the things we'll talk about today are those things that your student can start utilizing right away. I think it's a common misperception that the Career Center is just for seniors, that we're only assisting those students who are getting ready to graduate and heading off into the real world. And certainly we are working with those students, but we encourage first-year students to visit us as well. And we'd like students to visit us early, to visit us often, and really start developing that relationship with us. And so again, today we'll talk a little bit more about some of those services that even your first year student can access next year. So at the Career Center, we work with almost all undergraduate students. So students in the various colleges, our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, the Tippie College of Business, the College of Education, the College of Nursing, and the College of Public Health. The only college that we don't directly assist is our College of Engineering. They actually have their own professional development office that is working with those engineering students, but all other students we are assisting on campus. And as I mentioned earlier, we really like for students to develop that relationship with us so that we can start looking at what are some of those things that they can do now at this point, but also how do they start planning ahead for the future and really thinking about some of those next steps that they need to be taking. And certainly having that conversation with the career advisor, getting those questions answered, those concerns addressed, those worries that they might have as they think about some of those career possibilities. Those are all conversations that we can have with them so that they feel more confident and feel more prepared in taking those next steps. So at the Career Center, we like to advise by this four-step model that you see on the screen. We certainly see students really progressing through these steps as they look at their career development and certainly utilizing their time at the university. Now, several first-year students probably are in that exploration stage. And even if your student knows what they want to major in, even if they know what their career possibilities are at this point and what they're interested in, it benefits all students to still spend some time exploring those interests a bit more and learning more about those occupations and job duties and job tasks that are of interest to them right now. And there's several things that we encourage first-year students to do to explore those areas of interest a bit more. Certainly with looking at getting involved on campus with different student organizations. Some of our organizations do have a career focus, some don't. But either way, just having that involvement, really seeing what is it that they enjoy learning about? Who do they want to be connected with? How can they find people that are similar to them and some of the interests that they have? Those are ways that they're also exploring those career interests that they have. Also just volunteering. In the community, there are several volunteer options for students in the Iowa City area. Again, ways where they can start connecting some of their career interests to these real world work situations. We also recommend that students look at job shadowing options or informational interviews. Again, ways where they can talk with someone in this field of interest, really learn more about what does this occupation look like on a daily basis, or if they have that opportunity to job shadow, to really be in that environment with that professional and see things with their own eyes. So again, these are all conversations that we can have with students and really start brainstorming ideas on who can they contact, who's already in their network that could be a possibility for them, or if they don't know professionals in those areas, sometimes we can make those suggestions or places where they can look for potential job shadows or informational interviews. So again, just coming in, having that conversation really gets things started in helping them explore those career interests. And then certainly as they progress through their time at Iowa, progressing through these professional development steps, moving into that prepare stage where they're preparing maybe application materials, preparing cover letter, their resume, preparing to interview. And this could be anything from a campus job to a full-time position. We assist students with those materials no matter what they might be applying for. And then seeking those outside the classroom experiences. Those really will be vital for students as they get a little bit closer to graduation. Employers, graduate programs will want to see that students have spent some time outside of the classroom, applying that classroom knowledge and also building their skill set. So this can come in the form of internships, various field experience, research or lab opportunities on campus, different practicum opportunities, so many different ways where students can start to get that real world experience. And again, here too is where we can make those suggestions and start brainstorming ideas on where to look for those opportunities. And our goal is that when students reach that achieve stage, they feel ready, they're prepared, they're confident, they know what that next step is going to be, and they're excited about what opportunities lie ahead. So I mentioned some of those things that first year students can do to start exploring career interests, but we certainly see several students who come into the university as an open major, and maybe they're not even sure where those career interests are, and that's perfectly fine. We do offer a variety of career assessments that really help students determine where are their career interests and what occupations will be some of those good fits for them. One of the assessments that we offer that I highly recommend is called U-Science. It's not connected to the field of science at all. It's more the science of you. And it really examines not only a student's career interests, but it's also measuring a student's aptitude to do certain tasks. And this makes it a little bit different from other career assessments that are available. Most only measure career interests, but the fact that this one takes into account some of those more natural skills, those natural abilities that a student has, is going to make it a little bit more accurate in terms of providing those occupations that do align with who that individual is, because it's capturing in those interests, but it also bringing in the abilities. And so it's that combination of what a student enjoys, but also what they have the natural skill to do. And of course, we would say that's what makes a good occupational fit, enjoying what you do, but also being good at it. So U-Science is a free assessment that students can utilize. It's something that students can even access now. You don't have to wait until you're on campus in the fall. This is something that if you wanted to take over the summer, you certainly could. I asked Brianne to put a link in the chat where you can sign up for U-Science to take the assessment. All you need is your email address and your Hawk ID, your UIO email and your Hawk ID. That's all you need to sign up for the assessment. And then we'll do some things on our end, and we'll get some information sent your way on the next steps in taking that if you want to. And that's also something, once you would get your results, of course, you can view those on your own. But if you wanted to talk with a career advisor about what you're seeing or questions that you have from those results, then definitely those are questions that we can answer again over the summer. You don't have to wait until the fall to start meeting with us. So at the Career Center, we also advise by career communities. You can think of these more as career interest areas that a student might have. So we do have these 10 interest areas in place. And we advise this way so that students can think a little bit more beyond what can I do with this major? We know that's a common question. We know students will ask that anyway, but we also want them to spend a little bit of time thinking about what is it that specifically appeals to me? What work environments or work settings do I want to be in? What job duties and tasks are of interest to me? What skills do I have that I want to be able to use in a work environment? And so when students really start thinking more about how they connect to particular career paths and occupations, we know they're going to make some better occupational choices. So all of our career advisors have specific areas that they work with. So for example, I specifically work with students that are in the health and wellness, career interest, environment and sustainability, and science research. So a student can schedule an appointment if they have those career interests and meet with me, and we can talk more about what they're wondering about. And we are firm believers in meeting students where they're at. And we know, of course, meeting with first years through seniors, that students are in a variety of different career development stages. So I might meet with a first year student who is exploring their interest in health. Maybe they know they have that interest in healthcare, but they're not quite sure what all is available. How do they even get started exploring occupations? So we might talk some about some of our resources on how they can get started with that. Or I might meet with a sophomore who is interested in science research. Maybe they're applying for a campus lab position and they need help crafting their resume to apply for that. And that's what our conversation looks like. Or I could meet with a junior who's interested in environment sustainability. Actually, I met with a student not too long ago, an English major, but looking to do something within environmental advocacy and environmental education. And so we spent our time looking at different internship opportunities that would be available within that field. So again, those conversations will look different between each student, but they're all very individualized. And that's, again, why I keep stressing coming in to see us and having that conversation and really using that as this jump off point to learning more and thinking again about some of those next steps. So the Career Center also offers a variety of academic courses. So we have professional development courses, career development courses, and leadership development courses. And these are academic, so students are receiving course credit. Now it's all elective course credit, so it's not going to be anything that would go towards a student's major, but certainly these are great opportunities to really focus in on a specific area of development that would be of interest to that student, and also a way to continue building just their knowledge and their skill set in a particular area. There are two classes in particular that I think first year students can really benefit from. One is our major and career exploration class. And so this is a class that's an ideal fit for students who are open majors. So really, starting to explore where their interests are. And also students who maybe have a major in mind, and now they're starting to wonder, what can I do with it? What are my career possibilities? So this class is, it's actually a 7-week, 1 semester hour course. And we've got online offerings for this. And this is, it's a great opportunity, again, to really hone in on who you are as a person. So through this class, students would take the U Science career assessment that we just talked about. They also have the opportunity to learn from industry professionals. So different employers would be offering their perspectives about their positions and their own career paths, and offering that information to students. And it's just an opportunity to more thoroughly research majors and occupations, and really devote some specific time to doing those things. So this is offered, because it's 7 weeks, it's actually offered twice a semester. So this is something that students could enroll in right away if they wanted to, or they could wait mid-semester, pick it up then, or even wait until next year as a sophomore. I mean, I think this class is a great fit for first years and sophomore students. Another course that first years can start taking as well is our Career Leadership Academy. So this is actually a 2-semester academic program. So the first semester is more on looking at yourself as a leader, what's your personal leadership style, and then also looking at leading within a group. So how do you manage team dynamics in kind of getting a group to accomplish goals? And then the second semester is leading within the community. So there's a community service project connected with that. And then also leading within the workplace. So what will some employer expectations be of them once they would get into an internship or that full-time position? You do not need to take the semesters consecutively. So if students want to take the first semester and then take a break and pick up the second semester later on, that's perfectly fine. Again, as I mentioned, this is something that first year students can take during their first year if they want to, but this would also be a great set of classes to keep in mind sophomore and even into junior year as well. So we also do have a variety of employers that we work with as well. And that's one of our main goals too, is making sure that students have that opportunity to connect with a variety of employers. And we do host several different employer events throughout the school year. Career fairs, networking nights, information sessions, all of those are opportunities where students can connect with employers, learn more about internship positions and full-time positions. So the employers that you see here on this screen is just a very small sampling. These are some of our Black and Gold employer partners, but we work with over 600 employers that are really actively connected to us and actively recruiting on campus. So if you are with an organization that isn't currently recruiting at Iowa and you would have the interest in doing so, please let us know. We're always looking to form new partnerships and find new organizations to connect with. And our employer relations team, they actually visit. They go out, they visit these organizations, and they tell them how great University of Iowa graduates are. And so they're helping to build up our students and making those connections by coming to campus, and then also posting on our online job management system, which is called Handshake. So on Handshake, students can find a variety of positions ranging from on-campus jobs, to internships, to full-time positions. So it's really a system that students can utilize from their very first day all the way through graduation. Even our alumni continue to utilize Handshake. So this is a free system to access, and you may have already received some information on Handshake. You might have received an email on setting up your account, which we would certainly encourage you to do so. You can always access it through the Career Center website as well. But certainly if you are looking for a campus job, that might be the more immediate need at this point. Handshake will be your resource to utilize. So as I mentioned, several offices and departments post on Handshake for those campus jobs. Work study positions are also included in that mix on Handshake, and you can specifically search for those work study roles. But yeah, this will be a nice way to see what offices are hiring, what departments have those student needs, and I would say almost every department has a need for student employees. And I think as we make a return to normalcy for this upcoming school year, I know that there are several positions already listed on Handshake. These are probably more for the summer months for students that might be already current students and staying on campus for the summer. But as we approach August, I think into July, into August, we'll start seeing more of those positions come on board for the fall semester. So certainly, again, if that's a need, utilize Handshake, search those positions. We can also assist you with developing your resume. A lot of positions may ask that you submit a resume to apply for those roles. And we've got several resources on our website for getting started with that, but that's also a conversation that we can have with you too. We review several resumes and we can give you some good feedback on changes to make or just other suggestions that we might have. So we also on our website do have information regarding student placement. And so this may already be a question that you're thinking about. Where do Hawkeye grads go after graduation? What types of job opportunities are they finding and securing? So on our website, students and parents and anyone really can research some of those student outcomes. So this is our employment database, basically, where you can search by specific major and then see, okay, who's hiring those graduates within those majors. So it will give you some of those top companies. It will give you some of those top position titles. So what are they actually being hired for? It will give you some of that geographic information. Where are they working? And then also some of that salary information as well. So I think this gives you a pretty good picture as to what students can do with that major. What are some of those possibilities that will exist after graduation? And I think answers, some of those questions. Those can be some scary thoughts and kind of worrisome things to start pondering. And so hopefully this gives students and families a little bit of reassurance that they'll be able to find those positions of interest. So I have mentioned our website a lot throughout today's presentation, and I certainly encourage you to spend some time there. So it's careers.uiowa.edu, and the student section that is pictured here is where you'll find a lot of the things that we've already been talking about today. So here is where you can find the resume information. So as you're looking at getting started with that, we do have several resume samples that you can look at. We have one that is probably a perfect fit for several of you because it's a resume that really captures someone that is coming in from high school and they have just high school accomplishments and high school activities on their resume at this point, and that's perfectly fine. So certainly that would be a good resume to look at in terms of layout and format. We also list those resumes as Word documents that you can edit. So we try to make it very easy for you to have a resume that really matches what our samples look like. Also in the student section, this is where you can find that employment database that we just looked at. That's under that Explore section, and where it says what Hawkeye grads do, that will take you to that database. Under that Get Started section, you'll see that Find Your Career Community. That will list all 10 of our career communities again. And each one of them has a web page that will list more resources. So exploration resources, ideas for student organizations or volunteer opportunities that are connected to those career interests. And also will provide different opportunities and listings for internships and other outside the classroom experiences to start considering. So lots of good information, lots of good details on our website. So at the Career Center, we have a little equation that we like to use. So oftentimes we say that the more time that your student spends in the Career Center is inversely proportional to the amount of time that they will spend on your couch. Career is scary. Thinking about life after graduation is scary. We know that, we recognize that. And we just want students to feel comfortable in coming to us, knowing that they don't need all the answers at this point. That's why we are here to assist them. And we're eager to start having these conversations with them. So I forgot to mention earlier, yeah, we're located in the Pomerantz Center building. So if you have been to campus before, the Admission Visitor Center is on that first floor. Academic Advising is on the second floor, and then the Career Center is on the third floor. So again, as we return to normal for this next school year, I think we'll be seeing more students in person for appointments, which we're definitely all looking forward to. And you can see our various social media platforms listed there on the side. Certainly, I would encourage you to follow us on those as well. We list updates, information, announcements, other things that are happening that you can keep track of by giving us a follow as well. So that is all I had for you in terms of content and information, but I am happy to answer any questions that you have at this point.